enhance the value of the brand, obviously, has been discussed, is what can the brand add over and above the baseline of an independent hotel. I'd like to ask the same question, but in respect to the downtimes. We've seen two severe recessions in the past 10 years. Has anyone tracked the value of the brand versus the independence or the concepts when there was a sharp drop in occupancy and the ability to yield was severely handicapped? And how would you be able to comment on maybe your brand's comparison in the downturn to the non-branded hotel when everyone lost?
I fear that may be a different panel, but let me pick up the theme that you hit upon, because Cornell came out with a study, I think it was mid last year, that said basically discounting doesn't work, destroys value, blah blah blah. I haven't seen the methodology behind that, but intuitively, from an individual owner's perspective, in an individual hotel, I don't believe the data. I know that they could look at 1,000 hotels over 10 years and tell you, well, there's no evidence, but actually in an individual hotel, with proper use of pricing, distribution, revenue management, particularly if the hoteliers are able to lay down a base of demand early that's fenced in some way, then during a downturn, my observation on behalf of owners is that discounting absolutely is a valid tactic, but it has to be properly deployed. I mean, what's your feeling?
I think also your question was around relative performance,
yeah.
And generally in downturns, questions we get asked from a market standpoint the most, are you maintaining fair share at least? You know, so so from a RevPAR index standpoint, that's at least what the street uses to kind of determine how are you doing relative to everybody else. If the market's declining, how are you doing?
Yeah.
And what was interesting to us when we were looking at the last 3 years and the struggling times as it relates to Europe, we saw the past 3 years a significant shift in the mix of openings towards branded hotels. There was about a 10-point shift in new openings towards branded hotels, and I think it was because of that point that the ability to still, if there's revenue out there, the ability to achieve premiums or to grow share in that environment is really important. And the engines that they have, that brands have been able to demonstrate that they can do that.
And I think there's also 2 points there. One, I think probably like Marriott and then Choice, we saw a RevPAR index increase during that last recession. So I think we saw the branding, most of the brands actually increased the RevPAR index versus the independents. The second phenomenon which happened during this downturn was you saw the advent of soft branding. We saw Autograph launch. We did a Ascend collection in the U.S. and Clarion collection here in Europe, where you saw a lot of independent hoteliers who thought they could make it on their own, because of the internet and because of all the OTAs. They thought they could do it on their own. And what you saw was they came running to the brand saying, "We need help in this downturn. We need help. We need help." And that's why we launched Ascend. As you know, we launched Autograph and Edition. So I think you saw the power of branding in the downturn, where there was real need for people coming to us.
I've seen studies both ways. I'm sure it can be argued either way. I think it's really an asset-by-asset decision. It doesn't matter what, in general. I think it's going to be depending on your property, the facilities, the location, your management team, a lot of that. What we focus on for our hotels is driving a higher average rate to our hotels by better selling our product. Yes, some of the chain properties, depending on the chain, to negotiate a better margin for the hotels. Our hotels don't do a lot of business on OTA, but the average rate that comes from leading reservations commands a 50% premium on the average rate that the hotel generates. Now, of course, there's a lot of negotiated rates at the hotel level and all that, and we are really selling on a product basis. So there's a different focus in terms of what we try to do for our members.
Excellent, Ted. I'm going to wrap up shortly, but Nick's got a burning point.
Well, it's just that again, I think Cornell study on do brands drive the top line in a recession. Clearly that is very, very important. I'd quite like to see the Cornell study about do brands make good cost savings in a recession? Because ultimately, investors like revenue, but they really like profit. And that's what is equally important.
Absolutely. Well, on your behalf, I'd really like to thank the panel. I think it's been a great debate. Thank you very much.